Qween! Speaking of sophisticated cunts, I want to hear about seduction and most importantly, working with Civiles and Cole and what that was like. For the children who don't really know, those are the people behind CNC Music Factory. And oh, here you are in seduction.
Oh, I'm the black girl.
Yes. Wait, here you are. You're blonde. I was like, why does Michelle look so tan?
No, I'm the black girl.
Okay, you're the black girl.
Don't tell me I'm not.
Michelle, you're giving a very Ciccone look.
Well, look, we have the same face. Madonna and I share a face, and I can't help it. I didn't have surgery. She didn't have surgery. Well, she didn't back then. Did she have surgery? I think it's just fillers.
It's a lot of fillers,
right?
Yeah.
Which makes me so sad because she's my idol. There is no bigger in my eyes. And, you know, I still hold that memory of her in Truth or Dare where she talks about never doing anything and she never would do anything to her face. And then I see her now and I'm like, fail. But now that I'm 46, I understand. And I'm getting closer and closer as all the days go by. I see Lady Gaga wearing tapes, and I said, told Ru on the podcast, I'm like, I want to try tapes.
Right. You get the old Lucille Ball going on.
Yeah, I want to do that. That's cute. I think it looks cute on Gaga.
Why not?
Seduction was amazing. I was 19 years old when I was signed to them.
And how were you just in the club scene and they discovered you?
Yes, but no. Idalis, the Puerto Rican girl, was my best friend, and I was working in the garment industry. I was a receptionist. So I would answer the phones, and Idalis called one day, and she was like, girl, I just auditioned for a girl group, and I got in. And I'm like, what? And she's Puerto Rican, so I go, do they need a white girl? She's like, they already have one. And I go, but it's not me. Can I have their number? She's all, no, girl, I'm not gonna mess this up. I go, give me their number. I swear I will not embarrass you. So I called them and I'm like, hey, do you need a white girl? And they're all, well, we have one. I go, but you don't have me. So they said, okay, I guess they like my tenacity. So I went in and I sang Tina Marie, Deja Vu for them.
Oh, very nice, Michelle.
And they were like, okay, David Cole, because you know, David was like, okay, what else are you gonna do? And I was like, else? Jennifer Holliday, I Am Love. And they were like, what? And I did, and they were like, pack your bags, bitch, you're going to Virginia Beach.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so they sent you down there to work on...
Well, Seduction was a group before it was a group.
I know, because I'm always wondering whether when you go into some place with Martha Wash, whether she's still giving you the eye.
No, because she got her just dues on that.
Oh, she did?
Yeah, yeah.
Martha Wash, for the people that don't know.
Yeah, she did the vocals on You're My One and Only True Love, which was Seduction's first single. Because she did a ghost vocal, and they sped her up a little bit, so it doesn't really sound like her.
Yeah, it sounds very little bit like her.
A little bit.
It's a very
you know
soft
her voice.
Martha Wash,
Right. If you know her voice, you'll hear it. But they didn't expect it to blow up. They thought it was going to be like a club record. But they always had this dream of doing an interracial girl group. So they were like, at this point, oh my God, this record's blowing up. We got to put together a group. So that's how that happened. And Dallas got it first, then I got it, and then April got it last because April grew up with David, or they went to church together or something in Passaic, New Jersey. And that's how they happened. We did that record, we did that whole album in 6 weeks.
Wow.
Like, it was written and everything was recorded and done in 6 weeks. So it happened because Dallas told me about it, and I said, I'm gonna go audition because I know that they don't have me. I am a star. Whoever they have is not a star.
I like that attitude, Lady Red, right?
I am a star.
That's what it is. Call it to you.
It was my goal to be Madonna 2.0, which never happened, but I had such an incredible experience being able to travel the world and we opened for Milli Vanilli for 8 months and selling out 60,000 seat venues before we knew.
Right.
Obviously, nobody knew. I knew that they were lip syncing, but I thought it was just because everybody lip synced.
It was a lip syncing time.
Yeah.
That's when everybody did.
Everybody did.
It was just the thing, right?
Well, we lip sync, meaning we had a track always playing, but we had live mics. So we sang with it because we actually sang on the record. When I remember Idalis and I, Sanoa replaced Idalis, we went to go to the sound check the first night, and the music played, the vocals are going, those boys were not there. I remember looking at her going, oh, where are they? Then they come running out, and their chest bumps. And we just thought that they just didn't sing live. We had no idea. Until I started talking to them, I was like, wow, you really have no accent on this record.
Yeah, because now for the children, Google Milli Vanilli. They were two German black guys.
Well, one was French, one was German.
French, one was German. They talk like this. They'd be like, we like it very much to sing the songs. And then they'd be like, hey, yeah. They sounded real different.
Although you just sang, I wanna shoot, baby.
What was their song? Girl, you know it's true. Yeah. Girl. I was deep into that album, Michelle.
I'm gonna say on the record, That album was one of the best albums
so good
ever made.
Blame it on the rain.
Falling. Yeah, no, that was a great album. Still is to this day.
It is a great album.
Whoever that big brother was that sang it, amazing.
Oh, I bought the real Milli Vanilli album when it came out later. When they formed the group, it was actually old black guys and some fat lady. And they were like, why the real Milli Vanilli? We're gonna do it.
Oh, you mean the voice? Because Robin Fab put out a...
No, but then the real Milli Vanilli, Germany only. I bought the single.
I'm sorry.
The Germany only record.
Sorry.
They came out as the real
Was
Milli
it good?
Vanilli. It was disappointing.
Yeah.
They had a song called "Keep On Running."
But did he work with Frank Farr? Now you sound like Michael McDonald.
It was all of them. It was all the same people.
Michael McDonald?
Yes.
Michelle.
No, that was a great experience, though. It was us, Young MC, and Milli Vanilli.
Wow.
And it was such an incredible time.
Was that a Club MTV tour?
No. Club MTV happened before this tour. Then they were so huge that they ended up doing their own world tour, and then we opened up for them. And for most of the dates, 99% of them, I think there were a few that we were booked at Disney Grad Night. So like Sweet Sensation or somebody else would fill in.
Right.
But then we got to open for New Kids on the Block. We got to open for Aerosmith, like some big bands. It was pretty amazing.
That is fun.
Really fun experience.
And so you did Seduction, and then you kept staying in the music industry. You did
Well, I had a song on the Bodyguard soundtrack.
Soul System, right?
Right.
Now, are you still rich from that song?
I wish. No.
No?
I never got rich off of it. Other people did, but I didn't.
Because you didn't write that song.
I did write it.
You did write it?
I did write it.
And you had a bad publishing deal?
No, I got it. It was an okay publishing deal, and the money was big up front.
Right.
But, you know, it dwindles.
Yeah.
You know, see, that's what happens. And I'm grateful I was able to buy my mother a house and a car. And,
I mean, that's still pretty great.
Yeah. No, so grateful. I mean, we covered Bill Withers' It's Gonna Be a Lovely Day. And it was the only non-Whitney song that made it into the movie.
Yeah, I remember. I had it.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Michelle.
And that 12-inch was amazing.
Yeah.
That was on the back. I was topless, and I was like this, like doing some voguing pose. My second set of tits, not these.
Oh.
And every straight DJ in the country would go, can you sign this? Because they knew it was me. And like my ass was the cover, and my tits were the back. So it was pretty.
Bravo, Michelle! Bravo!
I have to give the boys what they want.
Yes.
But it was pretty forward back then.
Yeah.
You know? I like that. I like sexual revolutions.
And then how did you end up hosting at the strip club?
Well, you hit rock bottom. Seduction happened, and when it was over, and let's put it this way. We didn't get the deal that made us want to do another album.
Right.
So I
mean, Sibelius and Cole were great producers, but not really known for their forthrightness in deals and dealings with people.
I'll go with that. So my girlfriend, I was going to start stripping because I made no money off Seduction. Zero. Zilch.
Right, because they were like, we wrote it all, we give it all, you just sang it, and you're replaceable.
Wealth of experience. Wouldn't trade it for the world, but I wish I had been smart enough at 19 to go, you need to get paid for this, bitch. Right, hindsight. So my girlfriend was stripping at the time, and she said, listen, you can try it. And I was like, okay. I got a cute body. I'll go for it. But I was always the talker. I was always the one who was telling jokes. I'm too funny to get up on stage. Like, I want to be like, I'm not going to be like, I want to be like, So for me, that didn't work. So I went there, and I said, I can't. I almost said her name, and I don't know if her family ever knew she stripped. I said, I don't.
Luckily, they're probably not watching it.
What's this new show on the internet?
It's called
in here, doll. We're going to watch
Hey,
it.
Gwen.
Hey, Gwen.
So I ended up being she said, there's a hot oil wrestling show.
Oh, Michelle.
And they needed an announcer. And I said, I can do that. So I went down. They needed an announcer because the girl was pregnant. So she's out there in a miniskirt with her little belly starting to show. They had to get rid of her real fast. So I learned the huge page dialogue, and I started doing that in Queens.
What's the dialogue for a hot oil strip show?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. How many bachelors out there? Then you get them up on stage, you embarrass them. I did a whole spiel.
Wow.
Probably about 15 minutes before I even started. It was like stand-up. Embarrass them. I was crass. I'd be there. My nails were this long, and I'd have a cigarette.
Yes.
Guys, let me tell you. You know, get them in the middle of the ring. They do their oil the guys up, and then jizz. And then I would auction them off. Full on, 25, I got 25, do I see 30? I got 30 over there, do I see 40, 35, I go right there. Like, the whole thing.
Wow.
Up to about between $300 and $400, and on a shitty night, it would stop at like 100. That's why the girls loved me, because I would push the guys and push. Then you'd see some of them weren't happy with their bids, and they'd be like, I'd be like, bitch, no. Nobody's biting. Unless you're going to give free fellatio. That's it.
Right.
Take your $100 and call it a day. And I did that for, I guess, a year and a half. And then when CNC came back, Liv Willis and Cole came back and said, will you do another song with us? I said, if it's my solo thing, yes.
Oh.
So Soul System was pitched as my solo thing, but somehow I ended up Michelle and the Pips, which I didn't like because, not for me, I loved everybody that I worked with.
Was that really a group or was just producers and you?
It was a group, but it was always Soul System featuring Michelle Visage.
Right.
And I felt like, these kids are so talented and they're here just being wasted. I felt really like, and it wasn't my fault, and I felt like I didn't want them to look at me like,
why is this bitch getting
why the white bitch gonna do it? Us three black asses in the back like the Pips. I didn't want that, you know? And I felt like it was really just uncomfortable. But we ended up doing it and having a great time. And
you were on the Bodyguard
on the
soundtrack.
Bodyguard soundtrack. Not many people can say that.
Not at all. How many? That was like a 50 million or some crazy amount.
Something insane.
Yeah.
And then I went from there to thinking I needed to strip again.
Wow.
And getting my boobs done again. And my roommate at the time worked at Scores and was making, and I'm not exaggerating, because Scores was really hot and Howard Stern would talk about it all the time, $3 grand a night.
Yeah.
3 to 5 grand a night.
Oh. Wow.
A night.
Oh. Are they still hiring Lady Red?
Okay.
You go down to Scores.
I hope so. You know, I got my culinary degree still. I don't mind. I'll cook in the kitchen or at the table.
No, Lady Red, you're only going to be cooking your titties out into the people. That's what you're going to do at Scores.
Oh, that's fine.
Yeah, it'll work. It'll work. Bring them your style of sushi.
Yes, Michelle.
So she said that she was working there at the same time WKTU was launching. Oh. And they were doing this thing where they were stunting at Tower Records saying, anybody who wants to audition to be a DJ, come to Tower Records and come audition. I was like, I am not auditioning. I was in a girl group.
I was on the Bodyguard soundtrack.
So I started calling everybody I knew from radio as from when I was in the group.
Right.
As I'm lying up with my boobs all taped up from boob job number 2, I was calling everybody going, hey, do you know? And everybody said that they were involved in it. Everybody from every state was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be the music director. I'm gonna be, nobody was.
Oh, wow.
Debbie, my roommate, stripper, different one, said, I think the boss of my strip club is gonna be working at that radio station you're trying to get on. I was like, really?
Right, bitch.
Really, Qween?
Really, Qween?
And she was right. The manager was going to be a writer, and they met me, and they brought me on the air with them, and I was like the girl on the street.
Wow.
Come see me on Route 3 at the TikTok Diner. Come get your T-shirt.
Right.
Yes.
But all the big people were in town, because this was a 100,000-watt radio station.
Yeah.
All the upper echelon were in town from Chicago, and they were like, that bitch is too good. Bring her into the studio.
Yeah.
So the next week came, and I was like, oh, I got this. I always say to Ru, I say to everybody out there with casting people, whatever, I can be whatever they want me to be. They may see one thing. Give me 5 minutes. I can work a room like nobody's business. And I ended up, they ended up putting Ru and I together for Fashion Week. Didn't tell him, didn't tell me. They were like, meet who you're gonna work with. And it was like, oh, the heavens opened up.
All right.
And that was it. And that's how the whole thing started. And I just have always been a radio geek. But didn't know that I was a radio geek.
Right.
You know, it wasn't like, oh my God, I have to be on the radio, but I was that girl who was constantly writing all the songs. I had listened 24/7. I loved the radio.
Yeah.
So for me to be on it was a natural progression, and I still love it to this day. I just wish kids had more freedom to do what they want to do, because they really
listen to
don't.
more things or things that weren't just canned.
Even the music, I'd rather, they can play what they want, and that's fine. I have a problem with the breaks being 20 seconds and having no personality anymore.
Yeah, I don't even hear any radio people talk anymore at all.
For a reason.
Yeah.
Because research shows, but research is flawed.
For more, hey Qween! Check us out on theStream.tv. Subscribe to us on YouTube and Daily Motion, and follow us on Twitter and Facebook. And we'll just have a gay old time, right, baby?
Yes, honey.
Yes, honey. Yes, honey. Hey, Qween.